Ready, steady, go are the words we often use to start off a race, where we want those competing to start together and not favour one over the other. In nature, an apple has a skin, the pulp and the core. An egg has a shell, the white and the yellow. Our daily lives on the roads are governed by the three colours of red, amber and green in the form of our traffic lights. In the New Testament, the number 3 occurs throughout many of the events of Jesus' life and in the lives of his followers. The wise men gave Jesus 3 gifts. Satan tempted Jesus 3 times. The ministry of Jesus lasted 3 years. During the agony in the garden, Christ asked 3 times for the chalice to be taken from his lips. St. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but post-resurrection receives the opportunity to make amends, again 3 times. Jesus rose from the dead on the 3rd day. Paul the Apostle went blind for 3 days after his conversion to Christianity. Over the Easter season, we are asked to express our joy in the Paschal mystery by not just saying Alleluia once, but 3 times at the end of the Eucharist. For St. Patrick, God was the triune God, the God that is Trinity. In the life and the faith of this saint of Ireland, God is the unbegotten Father who has no beginning, but is the origin of all beginning. Jesus is the Father's Son who became man, defeated death, and was received into heaven. The Spirit is announced by Jesus. The Spirit is the gift and pledge of immortality, making us into the sons and daughters of God and joint heirs with the Christ. St. Patrick's faith in the triune God is simple, direct, biblical and grounded. Patrick presented himself and the Christian faith in a way that many could grasp and own for themselves, just as Jesus does in the Gospel. In our Gospel today, Jesus is setting the stage for his upcoming death, resurrection and ascension. The disciples are understandably terrified. Their lives are about to take a dramatic turn. How are they going to survive without Jesus as their leader and guide? It could just as easily be our own question for today. Fortunately, Jesus offers an answer to this question. He promises another helper, another source of truth, another advocate, the Spirit. The Spirit is not bound by the limitations of time and space. The Spirit will lead us to the truth, will speak with the authority of God, sharing with us the thinking of God. He will guide us in our work, for life and for our God. To speak of Trinity is to speak of mystery, a mystery that seems strangely familiar, as I have suggested, with the prominence of the concept of 3 throughout our lives. Yet it is also something very distant and confusing. The Jesuit Donald Neary describes mystery in terms of a hand to be held rather than a problem to be solved. He invites us to look at Andrew Rublev's famous icon of the Trinity. Based on prayerful reflection of Abraham's hospitality to 3 travelling angels in the book of Genesis, it presents the image of 3 figures seated around the table with a welcoming space left to the front of that table. The table fellowship remains open for the viewer or the passerby to stop and place themselves in the presence of these 3 stately figures as they gather to bless and to share the chalice on the table. In life, we are not just meant to be nomads or stones moving in isolation. We are community, we are family. We are church together with a God who is Father, Son and Spirit. The Trinity invites us never to be alone, but to be brother and sister for each other and for the kingdom, with the triune God at its head.